We'll do it live! Fuck it! Do it live!
Welcome to the Mouthpiece, episode 89, year 3. Today we're going to talk about, well, the World Series of Poker, which ended almost a month ago. Sorry I haven't been on. Sports, the NFL, politics. Oh my God, there's so much to talk about. The Mouthpiece is next. What up, what up, what up? Welcome to the Mouthpiece. Oh, it's been a while, everybody. Let's see, we had 6 weeks of the World Series and 1 month since the series ended. I was going to do a podcast the second the series ended. I was going to do it 3 days after the series ended. I ended up not, and as if you haven't known yet or wanted to know, so Flash got real sick, and it didn't look, the doctors, they gave him, he got sick second week of the series. The doctor then thought he had 2 weeks to live. Then he had a retinal hemorrhage. Then the doctor said no more than 2 weeks again. And now that was like 9 weeks ago, and he's still going. And so I've been just pretty much staying home with him 24/7 since the series ended. Like, I'm kind of like afraid to leave him. So that's pretty much what I've been doing. The World Series, it was interesting. I ended up overall losing 5,000 on the series. Now, I lost a little bit more in the tournaments, but I won $62K in a cash game and lost 27,000 more in a cash game for a net profit of 35,000 in the cash games. The tournaments, on paper, I probably lost around 83, but the tournaments I had the most of myself in, so I sold 50% in almost all the 10Ks. My two biggest cashes, though, were I made the final table of the 1K flip and go, and I had 90% of myself in the last event, the last 5K for 16K. We'll talk about that event. That was really the one that really got away from me, that really bothers me. We had the fake shooting the Saturday before the series ended, where I got trampled. A lot of people got trampled. That was pretty crazy. My knee, I couldn't even walk after that happened. It was so brutal. And yeah, it wasn't the series I wanted or expected. But I had a lot on my mind. When Flash got sick in week 2, it really got to me. If anybody watched my vlogs, they could see that I was pretty emotionally fucked over it. I'm going to bring Flash on the show here to say kind of goodbye to everybody. I don't know if he's going to make it through the weekend. He's really struggling. But every time I think he's dead in the water, he finds a way to come back to life. Last night was a real bad night. Today, when I woke up earlier, it was a really bad afternoon. But I don't know. Somehow he was not moving much in the room, and he walked right on out, and was eating and drinking. So, the doctor says as long as he's eating and drinking, going to the bathroom, that he'll be okay to, I just don't want him to suffer. He really struggles with walking around, and he runs into walls. It's pretty upsetting. So, it is what it is. Hang on one second. You guys know how close Flash is to me. So I'm going to bring him on, and we'll talk about him afterwards. Come on, bud. So, come here, baby. I want to say goodbye to everybody. Let's show everybody how cute you are. And you see how big he is, because he's been eating a lot, and the doctor gave him prednisone for his problems. But it's okay, Bob. So, okay, come on. So, anybody who follows the podcast know that, he looks good, but I don't know if you could see his right eye. He had a retinal hemorrhage, and it's really bloody. I'm going to let him down. I just wanted you to say goodbye to everybody. Say goodbye to everybody, Baba. Okay. Let's get him. So, it's so much to talk about. Him getting sick had an effect on me, and I talked about it. Anybody, if you haven't watched the vlogs yet, they're really good. They really show a lot and show all the World Series, all the events that I played, everything I kind of went through. So if you haven't checked them out yet, check out the vlogs here on the channel. It's taken a big toll on me. The days, I just cried shit. So, like I said, anybody who watches the show knows how much me and Flash, how close I am to him. But you look at him, he's on the floor right now, and he's still cleaning the other cat. So the problem he has is he can only really smell like 3 inches in front of his face, about this far. So I have to bring the wet food up to his head. And, when the other cats get right next to him, they get real close. So he just cleans them because they're only a couple inches away. So he basically is blind, and so he can only smell about 3 inches away from him. And he kind of runs into walls because he's blind. But anyways, that's all. I just wanted to give Flash a little bit of love for the show, because I know most people who watch the show really love him. So I wanted to stress on that. So much to talk about. I don't even know where to begin. So the series ended up being a loss for me. I ended up losing, but by the end of the series, I was down 15,000. But I owed somebody like 9,300. I paid him. So I think my overall loss was 5,700, which sucks. I really thought I was going to have a big series. First 3 weeks, I really struggled mentally. I got my meds just were off. Last 3 weeks, I played fantastic. And I don't know, for most of you guys out there watching, what was I going to say? I lost my train of thought. So anyways, for all you guys watching, I don't know if you guys saw the main event. I went deep in the main event, and I think I finished, 536, something like that. And I bluffed off all my chips. But it's amazing to me that as good as I've done and as well as I've done in poker the last 3 years, it took a suicide bluff for the entire poker world to announce that I'm back and I'm the player I used to be. And listen, it was a very well-timed bluff. I mean, people that saw the bluff, all the pros thought it was just complete gangster. And when you put somebody, the thing is about the bluff, and if you haven't seen it yet, you can go to the youtube.com/Mike the Mouth, and you can see some highlights from it. I think if they're not up yet, they will be. What's that? Yeah, I thought so. And I thought they were. And basically, the guy with that was chip leader at our table, I mean, he was super aggressive, but he was a pro. He was a sponsored pro from Poland. He watched how tight I was playing. I didn't play a hand for 2.5 hours. And I thought he made a mistake by raising me on the river. When he raised the river, I knew he had a small flush. That wasn't the situation. I said afterwards, oh, I didn't think he had a flush. No, I knew he had a flush. And a lot of people say, well, what are you trying to make a guy fold a flush in the main event? So let's break down the bluff that I made. Okay. For 2.5 hours, I folded. I folded. I was very card dead, and I showed like two hands. I showed threes full. I did bluff one hand with 10-8 of hearts, where I flopped the gutter ball, came ace high. He check called flop, and I bombed turn. I thought he had a weak ace, and he folded a weak ace. Once again, that's using my image really well. Is he okay, bud? Yeah, he's all right. And so he's just flash, just kind of walks in circles and meows. But and so, I flop quads. I bet the flop. I checked the turn. I bet small river. I basically kind of played this hand like it. And so when he decided to raise me on the river small, I bet 70. He made it 170. And I said, this motherfucker is just raised me with a like 8 high flush. And I knew he doesn't have the ace high flush because the guy 3-bet all ace suited. He just did. So I wasn't worried about that. And the way the hand played out, he could never be full, but I could be full. So let's all understand the story I tell. I raise, hadn't played a hand in 2.5 hours. I get called by both big stacks, one in the button, one in the blind. The flop comes 5-5 queen. I bet flop, call behind me. The big blind folds. The turn, check. The river, king of clubs. I bet small. He raises. Now I have 320,000 left. Okay, which is 33 big blinds, which is a lot in the main event. And you have to tell yourself this. When he raises, I know he's got a small flush. I decided once he raised that I could rep a monster here with my reputation if I had over 200,000 left. So people will say, well, you just didn't have enough to make the bluff. Well, basically, I'm now going to tell the story of 100K more to call, plus 220 more. Am I really suicide bluffing off my tournament after 4 long days of poker with air? You guys understand what I'm saying? And that's the spot I have to put him in. The Nick Schulmans of the world, Sean Deebs of the world, Nacho Barber of the world, Joao, all the top players just love my bluff. Danny Weissman. I mean, so many people came up to me afterwards and was telling me how much they loved it. But I was worried. A lot of it was funny. Like when I went broke, anybody's seen the exit interview, I looked kind of out of it, and they're like, "Oh, Mike looks like he's on drugs." No, I was completely in shock that the bluff didn't work, and I was so sure that it was going to work, or I wouldn't have executed it. And I took a good minute at least a minute to think this through, maybe more, before I decided to go for it. I was in shock that it didn't work. I mean, I have not pulled the bluff trigger like that in 17 years, probably. Maybe between 15 and 17 years. So, yeah. It is what it is. You could say what you want because it didn't work. If it works, I'm a genius. So I was 99% sure it was going to work, and it didn't work. But like I said, it's amazing how, I don't even know how many, 20 of the top players, maybe more, came up to me and told me, great bluff, insane call. And everybody at the table thought I had it. Everyone. Even the guy Diaz, who made that big fold with 15 to go, he was at my table when they did this. I was talking to him after the tournament. We were both cashing out. He said, I don't know how he calls there. He goes, I was 100% sure you had the kings full or queens full or fours full or the nut flush. He goes, I just was so sure. And so, everybody at the table thought I had it, but the guy who called. So, hey, that's the way I went broke in the main. It is what it is. Now we're gonna kind of pivot over. If you haven't seen, my vlogs yet, I've kind of talked about this, so I don't really want to break too much into it. But the last event, the 5K, I finished 30th. The big pot, after I had tripled up with aces against 2 napkins and 2 spots, I pick up ace king against kings literally 2 hands later, and I almost got away from it pre-flop. I mean, literally, my instincts screamed get away. I didn't do it. And, Stephen, but it was still 20% of his stack. So, and it's still 33 big blinds in the main event. So I don't get away from the ace king against kings, which I had the hand almost in the muck for 20 big blinds. It just goes to show you, I had the hand halfway in the muck, 20 big blinds with ace king. 20 big blinds. And I don't follow my instincts, and the guy had kings. 20 big blinds. So you tell yourself, in the main event, it was 33 more big blinds. Like, how can I ever be bluffing? But I almost get away. I don't get away. So all those chips I had won were gone in less than 2 hands. And now I was back to like 325. I built it back up to like 545. And this is the key hand. If you haven't seen the vlog yet, whatever, I'll touch on it, and I'll touch on the people who are listening to the show that haven't seen it yet. But guy moves all in at 30,000 big blind. Eric Seidel calls. For 260K, so that's like 7.5 bigs. I then rip it behind Eric with ace king for another 300. Eric calls. Eric says, before he calls, he goes, well, I'm in the same spot you were just in when you had the king, ace king, and the guy had the king. So as soon as he says that, I know he's got ace king also. He calls, and we both have ace king, and the other gentleman has ace seven of spades. So this is, even if between so in the blinds and antes, you have big blind ante 30, 30, 15 small blind, you have 75,000 antes, 260, which if we and Eric chop this, it's we increase our stack 75, 35 and 40 plus 130 each, so 175. So I'm back over 700. And I'm sitting on 25 bigs in the. And remember, this is a 30-minute kind of turbo where the chip leader has like 40 bigs, 45 bigs. So 25 bigs would be, really good shape in this spot. And the flop comes 7, 8, 9. I'm sorry, 8, 9, 10. 3 clubs. I got the ace of clubs. I mean, just an amazing spot to be in. Club comes on the turn. I'm now sitting on 1.4 million, and it's game on. I mean, now I'm sitting at 1.4 because I get all of Eric's chips. Also at 30K big blinds, so that would be close to 50 big blinds, and I'd be one of the chip leaders. If me and Eric chop it, I'm at 7. Make a long story short, it comes an offsuit jack on the river, and the ace 7 beats me and Eric. It cripples me. I'm not able to overcome it. I blind down to 220, and then I move in with ace 3 of diamonds, and the small blind who had over 1 million in chips called with ace 8 of hearts. And it was not an easy call for him. It was still, I had 220 at 30 big. So it was a little over 7.2 bigs out of position. It was a tough spot for him. It wasn't like it was a snap. He did not snap call. He just happened to have 1.2 million. And he had ace 8 of hearts, and I went broke. So real disappointment, 30 on the last event. God, you just need to have something go right there towards the end, and it just didn't. So that was my series. You check out all the vlogs on the YouTube channel here. They're pretty good. I basically discuss everything that World Series intended. So we end the World Series. I come back, and we'll get to the 52 social in Texas here in a minute. I decide to. So basically, I'll give you an update on my poker playing since the series ended, and then we'll go to that. So I come back that Sunday night. My best friend comes over to see Flash. I really didn't think he was going to make it very much longer. Well, look, here he comes. I don't know how he does it. He's just like the Energizer Bunny. I'll bring him up to say hi to you guys before the show's over. And he came over. I jumped in a poker game online, got stuck like 16K, then got even. And that was one day I played. I played one other day, and I won like 37,000. So I've played one day of poker since I played last night, won 2,000. So played 2 days of poker since the series ended, and I'm up like 40. Take away the 15 I won. I lost the series. Take away 2.5 months of bills that I have, and the bottom line is I'm fucking dead even bankroll wise since day one of the series. So that's the way I look at it. Things could be worse. financially for sure. It could be better. Can't complain. Things are well. So that's what's going on there. Now, let's, a lot of people commenting if I'm still going to Austin, connected with 52 Social. I was in the middle. We were supposed to close the deal the second the series ended. And they insisted I come out and right away to Austin, and I refused to. And I insisted I want to wait till Flash passes away. There's like no way I was going to leave him. And I was getting all this pressure to close the deal. I mean, and finish the paperwork and stuff. And I got pissed. I got really, really pissed. I'm like, you're just going to have to wait till like the 1st of September. I'm not leaving Flash, and I'm not, I just, the series ended. I was exhausted, and they gave me an ultimatum a week ago Sunday. So that was 5 days ago. I got so mad. I said, "Go fuck yourself." I said, if you don't want to wait, then if you don't want to wait for a couple more weeks to I've been with my cat for 21 years almost. I mean, there's just like zero chance I was just gonna walk away and worry about fucking closing the deal on this. So as of right now, I'm still interested, and hopefully something works out. But if it doesn't, I really don't care. I mean, I did care. I took it personal that they didn't want to wait till something so close to me is not around. So I'm not saying the deal is completely dead. I don't know what's going to go on. I'm hoping, something can be salvaged, but we'll talk about what I'm going to do with Texas after Flash is gone. So it's just where I sit right now. People could say whatever they want. I don't care. He's just the most important thing to me right now. So that's what's going on there with Texas. I don't have really anything bad to say right now or anything good. I just was very upset by being pushed to, with an ultimatum to get something done, and I wasn't going to do it. So that's what's happening there. Now, some more in poker news, and again, this is not for sure, but a lot of things going on. Me and Phil Hellmuth are, Phil Hellmuth, Maury, Ben Lamb, the four of us are filming a segment for Golf Digest. Me and Phil are going to be on the cover with Maury and Ben Lamb. All four of us, we're expecting. Golf Digest, I guess, is the biggest golf magazine in the world. I don't golf, as you guys know. I can't even fucking walk barely, let alone golf. But because, they want to see us gambling and betting. So basically, I'm going to be driving the golf cart, which should be fun, and I'm going to be making bets with Ben Lamb, Maury, and Phil, and probably there'll be $1,000 bets per hole, I presume, and there's going to be a lot of videoing, a lot of writing about what we're doing.
Can we shoot it?
I'm sorry?
Can we shoot it for the YouTube channel?
I think you can. I don't think it's a video. I think it's a, basically they're going to cover what we're doing and the bets we make and kind of how the poker world gambles on golf, really.
That's cool if we shoot it, right?
I think so, yeah. Okay. I think you'll be fine to shoot it. But you're going to probably have to walk the course unless you can get you golf, don't you? Yeah, maybe you'll.
Get a cart or something.
whatever. Maybe you get an extra cart. Yeah, so we're doing that August 22nd. So August 22nd, we're shooting this big thing at Shadow Creek. I guess it's one of the nicest golf courses in the world. I mean, Phil likes to brag about all the top celebrities that go there. And so what do I know? It's going to be hot as fuck at 2 p.m. on August 22nd. So now we got August 22nd. Again, now this is I'm gonna have to leave Flash if he makes it that long. So here's the where I sit. If Flash is still around on August 22nd, which would be what, 2 weeks? What's today? Yeah.
It's 20 days from now.
What's
10 days from now.
10 days from now. Then after we film this, I'm going to stay home. Now I've made arrangements to film live at the bike with Phil on the 24th and 25th, 100, 200, no limit. And it's pretty big for me, so I'll probably play for half. I just don't want to lose 40 or 50,000. I just don't like losing money. And the game's going to play big because we have a lot of players in the game that play big. So the game's going to play big. And so what's going on for me is if Flash passes in the next 10 days, I will then be going down to LA and I'm going to play at the Bicycle Club, the WPT. It's the Legends is back to being a WPT this year. First time, I think, in at least 5 years. Yeah, maybe longer. 5 to 6 years. It's about 6 years since it's been WPT. And so, I'm playing great poker. I'm looking forward to that tournament and getting back in the swing of things. Played last night, like I said. So, a lot of poker on the horizon after Flash passes. Going Chicago, that big charity tournament Phil does every year. Then we're going to play some real juicy home games there. And so that's going to be in the end of September. So that's what's going on with me. As far as the world, as you know, so many crazy things. And going on in the world. We could touch on the politics a little bit, but we'll touch on that after. Let's see. Sports world, football starts in a month. Me and Phil will be announcing our preseason picks, over-unders. Every year, Phil bets, and I bet like last year with him 5K in each one. We went 3-0-1 last year. We had three 5K bets and a 3K last year. I won the 2 5Ks and the 3K, pushed the other one, so I made 13,000. We have 3 teams picked for this year. I don't want to announce them because Phil's going to be announcing them on his show. But our number one pick is, which we've already bet, is Cincinnati over 9.5 wins in a very weak division. They're getting no respect coming off a Super Bowl. They're loaded. I don't know how the team doesn't go 10-7. I just don't know how. It's not even possible. So that's our big bet. We have 2 others. Again, I don't want to jump in on Phil's, step on him. We're pretty confident in the other 2. So we've found 3 good bets. It's 1 more over and 1 under. And we're looking forward to the season. As you guys know, I don't bet sports anymore. I might bet 500 or 1,000 on one game here or there, mostly playoffs. So, 5,000 of me to watch the whole season is really good. And then we'll be, I join my survivor pool as well as I play a pick'em pool. So the pick'em pool is 1,500 for the year. And weekly prizes are like 15, 800, 600. And then I give my picks of the week here on the podcast every week. So we are definitely going to be, Michael, we're going to talk about this Mar-a-Lago raid here in a second. So the definitely, so the football, I do the pick 'em, and then I get in the suicide pool also, and hopefully try and find a way to survive my suicide picks. So that's what we do here with football. We'll talk a lot more with football coming up probably next week or the week after. So I'm looking forward to that. The baseball trade deadline is gone and gone. Somehow, I don't understand this. So the Padres trade for Soto. They give up their top 6 prospects. Supposedly 3 are major league ready, 3 aren't. Washington is a dreadful team. I mean, where they've gone from in 3 years is incredible. They needed to rebuild. Soto turned down $450 million for 15 years. I think the guy's insane. How do you turn that down? What happens if you have a serious injury tomorrow? How do you turn down the $450? At worst, you should have signed for the $450. Told Washington you're not staying. Then trade to the Padres, but he still hasn't re-signed yet. I don't even know how do you leave $500 million on the table. Pretty incredible to me. So, I think that's insane. And the Padres to win the World Series went from like 12-1 to like 4-1. Like Juan Soto moves them up from 12-1 to 4-1. Are these people crazy? The Dodgers are fucking awesome. So everybody's talking Dodgers, Yankees, whatever. I'm not so sure. The Yankees never win. They've lost 8 out of 10, and I think Houston is probably a little bit better. Fucking Aaron Judge is unbelievable. He's having a season of all seasons. But I'll tell you what, the Mets are going to be a fucking tough out for the Dodgers in the National League Championship Series. They're going to have to beat DeGrom and what's the other guy that was on the Capitals, was on the Washington, it was on the Nationals, and then was on the Dodgers last year at the end of the season. God, I'm having a brain fart here. What is that? Flash flood warning? I thought so. Yeah, it rains here every day, so I never I've been in a lot of pain also. My knee, I could barely walk. My foot, whenever it rains, I'm in horrible pain. So, that's what's going on with that. We're going to touch on the whole entire thing going on with the Mar-a-Lago raid. And we now have officially a flash flood warning. Let's read it. National Weather Service has issued a flash flood warning in effect for the area until 6 p.m. It is dangerous and life-threatening situation. Do not attempt to travel unless you are fleeing the area. Anybody fleeing? Subject to flooding or under evacuation order. Okay, there we go. We're done with the flash flood warning. What people don't understand about the raid in Mar-a-Lago, okay? Trump has turned it political because he's a master politician. We don't know what's going on yet, so I can't touch on it. I can tell you that it has to be more than just the warrant and what they took. It just classified information. Obama has 33 million pieces of classified information he took to Chicago in the archives. Hillary took a hammer to fucking BlackBerry, fucking classified information. It doesn't make sense. Why would they need to thoroughly go through over? It's really hard to touch on. See, like people that don't understand is you can look at Crossfire Hurricane. You can look at if you don't know what that is, you can look at how they went after Trump with fake FBI warrants and Carter Page fake warrants. There's so many things the FBI has done to try and take Trump out the last 6 years that it's kind of like the boy who cried wolf, right? You come after them, they have nothing. Russia, all was a lie, all made up. The fake Steele dossier made up by, was proven the Hillary Clinton Foundation paid for it. So you have all these things that come after Trump. I mean, lie. Now you come after him and well, is it a lie or is it more political? 19 of his 20 backed opponents won the primaries. They came after on Monday. His opponents went 4-0 on Tuesday. He was 15-1. They saw his political power becoming very strong again. If this is political, which I believe it's mostly political, again, I don't know. I don't want to really comment. Scherzer, Max Scherzer. So going through Max Scherzer and DeGrom is going to be very tough for the Dodgers. It's easy to say he's a criminal. Like you guys want to say again, I'm a big backer of Trump's policies. I think he's a buffoon and an idiot, personally. But he did a lot. I mean, he was 100 times better than what we have now. It's like not even close. And all they do is come after him. He's the most vetted person. Remember this, the most vetted person in the entire planet. He's been in the public eye since the 80s. They had nothing on him. And when they didn't come after him until he ran for president, in 6 years, they could find nothing on him. Now he's rising to power again, and they do this. Looks like a political hit job. And the DOJ really put themselves in a very tough spot unless they release the affidavit. And they don't plan on releasing that affidavit from what I've been hearing, because they just can't. The only way the DOJ can wiggle their way out of this politically is by releasing the affidavit. So he didn't take any documents, was subpoenaed and didn't return them all. Okay, they could come there and pick them up. It was in a locked room at his fucking house. The one thing that does upset me are the people like Brandon Wong here that has complete Trump derangement syndrome. To think, anybody who thinks that Trump had nuclear fucking secret documents in his basement or his room at Mar-a-Lago and was going to sell them to the Russians. I mean, this is what they're saying. You turn on the fucking liberal media, they're saying Trump had nuclear secrets and was going to sell them to our adversaries. The guy's got thousands of hotels around the world. The guy's got infinite money. It's just almost, you have to really be mentally ill to even think like these things, you know? So he's not going to be indicted, Brandon. Okay, you could get anybody that thinks that Trump is going to jail or going to be indicted can bet me up to $50,000, and they have to know me. They could direct message me, okay, and we could put the money in a where you hold it. It's in escrow. So yeah, we put the money in escrow if you want. So he's not going to jail. He's not being indicted. It's purely political. If he is indicted, they're just going to. They better have the goods on him, because the country is being torn apart. It's pretty unbelievable. Again, 19-1 his candidates in the primaries. If you guys don't think that it's political, you're crazy. So let's tell you what we're going to do. Let's open up the phone lines. We could take calls, people. We could talk about the series. We could talk about sports, NFL, and we could talk about the Radar Mar-a-Lago and whatever you guys want to talk about. So let's do it.
The Mouthpiece.
If you'd like to take part in our phone call segment, you can give us a call at 702-329-0480. And if you're a snowflake or a pussy and you don't want to talk to me, you can email me at mouthpiecepodcast@gmail.com. Also, follow me at the Mouth Matiso on Twitter for times that our call-in segment will be live.
702-329-0480. Give me a call. We can talk about whatever you want. Trump raid, NFL, baseball, basketball. We didn't talk about basketball. The Warriors winning the title during the World Series. Whatever you guys want. 702-329-0480. So talking with Daniel yesterday when he's like, well, I don't know. We don't know yet, so we're not going to talk about it. But it's all over the media that Trump has nuclear secrets. And I just started laughing. We'll touch on that in a second. Welcome to the Mouthpiece. This is Mike. What?
Oh, what's up, Mike?
What's up, my man? How you doing?
Hey, I have a quick question, man. I'm with my boss over here. We're watching you during work.
Okay. Turn down the radio for a second.
Oh, whoops.
What happened?
He's back.
Oh, yeah. Go ahead, bud. Hello. Well, give us a call back. Hi, Flash.
Oh, we got another call on right now.
Hi, Flash. Hello. Baba. I love you. Want to come? You want to be the star again? Welcome to the Mouthpiece. What's up?
Hey, how you doing?
Good, man. Turn down the volume on the thing, bud.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can. Who's this?
My name is Phil.
What's up,
We
Phil?
used to play a lot of poker back in the day on Full Tilt at night, you and I.
Oh, okay,
with
cool.
Magic Aces and a few other guys playing high limits.
Oh, okay, cool.
So I see that you get into these arguments with that Barbara on Twitter. I guess anybody that doesn't agree,
He just blocked you.
Brett Ritchie,
Yeah.
whoever doesn't agree with him, right, has lost their way. So you have to agree totally with whatever they say, or you lose your way.
He's
How
completely
is that
lost.
possible?
Yeah, he's so uneducated. You know what? We could touch on that too. He literally said in one of his tweets yesterday, when has the government ever not spent money that they said they were going to spend?
Wasteful spending.
Wasted spending money. When has the government ever wasted spending money that they have? And I'm like, anybody that writes a tweet like this automatically is disqualified for ever talking about anything. I mean, you saw that tweet, right? He's so nuts.
I see them. I read the tweets. I never opened up a Twitter account, but I see the tweets. Like, just because he has a college degree, he thinks like he's the smartest person out there. Just like Glantz. I used to have a lot of respect for Glantz, but what's wrong with these people? I mean, don't they see that the country's going downhill? I mean, I don't understand.
I don't know how they don't. What's wrong with them is they're all very rich, and it doesn't affect them, and they don't care about the working class people, and so, they just don't. They just can't understand what's going on, and it's so funny. So even like talking with Daniel yesterday, it's like, well, the country's doing much better now. Inflation is dropping and gas we had 1 month where the gas prices are dropping and the food prices are dropping. Oh yeah, so let's let's give the administration credit that they had 1 month of no inflation, of the inflation not going up.
These guys are talking for themselves. They don't see the people that are working for $600 a week that have to feed a couple of kids that actually get up and go to
Thank you.
work for a living.
This is what I say to everybody. Exactly.
Instead of getting millions from PokerStars and all these other sites and like getting money handed to them, right, on all kinds of sponsors. There's people that actually get up and work from 9 to 5, 7 to 2, and they bring home like $800 or $600, try to survive it with a family of 3 kids, you know.
And this is what I try and stress. The reason why I kind of connect with a lot of the working class people, even though I'm not one of them, is because I know what it was like when I had my injury, and in 2016, 2017, 2018, 2 worst years of my life, where I had to live off $100 a month in food, you know what I'm saying, to eat. And so it gave me a whole new perspective on life. And people, they're just they're out of touch with reality, And so the people don't give a fuck about Trump's mean tweets. They don't give a fuck that he talks like an idiot half the time. They care about the fact is crime is completely out of control everywhere in the country, the worst crime we've ever had, and people are starving to death. That's it. The only thing they fucking vote on is food for their family and am I safe? Right now, nobody goes out and feels safe no matter where they go, and nobody goes out and goes to the supermarket and has enough money to fill their gas tank and fucking survive if they have 2 kids and live in the real world. That's the bottom line.
What's sickening is, like, I used to play with Brett 2 years ago, right?
Yeah.
This kid obviously has he's a pretty intelligent kid.
Yeah.
He's not a rocket scientist.
Yeah,
but he's pretty intelligent kid.
Yeah,
So the kid he sees what's going on out there, and he decides to have an opinion of his own. And they're calling him, "You lost your way, kid. You lost your way." I mean, these people are really gone. I mean, really gone. It's sickening to see, like, all these people that are acting like that.
I mean,
it's something earlier you were getting to somebody about the TDS. These people, that's all they talk about. I mean, he's really living rent-free in their head for the last, 2 years.
It's pretty, it's pretty incredible. And it all comes down, see, people and I'm going to finish answering, talking to you because I got a lot of people want to call in here. So
yeah, no problem. I'll hang up. I just wanted to give you my 2 cents on those people that you argue with. They call you like you're the bad guy. It's just like the other kid, Foxon, that we're talking about him and the vaccines and stuff like that. Meanwhile, he's getting proven more right every single day, him and his wife now,
Every conspiracy theory I talked about over the last 2 years it's no longer a conspiracy theory. That's the bottom line.
Yeah. So much for the 10 hats, right? They're all coming out to be true.
Yeah.
Hey, Mike, stay healthy and enjoy yourself, and good luck, and keep on saying exactly what you feel.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. You got it. Have a good one.
Bye-bye.
Yeah. So, we were talking about that. I mean, even like again, Daniel, I don't want to talk about our personal conversations, but it's like, he only has classified information and the nuclear secrets, and he can only have them for one reason, because he's going to sell them. Like, how could you be that smart and then even say something like that? Like, Trump's ever going to sell nuclear secrets? Like, what planet are these people on?
Talk about conspiracy.
I mean, you have to be so wrapped up in Trump derangement syndrome that I don't even know where you have to be to even think something like that. So, yeah, we'll worry about that. Yeah, Bodyguard 71. Yeah, you can steal whatever you want and you never have to go to jail. You heard about all these car thieves that went around. They're all stealing Kias, the hot wire challenge, and people are hot wiring Kias. and around the country. They're stealing them, crashing them into walls. And there was an interview yesterday with two kids. They're like, "Oh yeah, you could steal a Kia." He goes, "It's a misdemeanor. You get a fine, and the most you have to do if you get caught is 3 weeks in jail." The guy's telling everybody in the interview yesterday. That's how bad our legal system. There's no bail. What was the guy the other day that assaulted the police officer, tried to kill him, and was out in 2 hours because they have no bail law in New York City? No bail law in California. So the guy was talking about stealing a Kia. He said he's facing 3 weeks in jail tops, but was released with no bail. I mean, didn't have to pay any bail yesterday. I mean, yeah, he's ready to sell technology to the Saudis. Brandon, what do you do? Watch MSNBC 24/7? I mean, you want to talk about tinfoil hat, man? You're fucking insane. Anyways, I'm not gonna touch on you. You're a pussy anyways. You know, fucking year and a half you never call in, but I like you. You're all right. So they were picketing outside Trump Tower on Monday when the raid or whatever, and they're like, "Arrest Donald Trump," and they're like, "He's a criminal." So the person from Fox News goes up to him and goes, "So you say arrest Donald Trump? He's a criminal. What is he a criminal of? What has he done?" And the guy's like, I don't want to specifically answer that, because they're like paid to go out there and say they don't even know anything. They're like people that say he's a criminal. Okay, is he a moron and a buffoon? I mean, I think he's a fucking moron. I'm not saying he ran the country good. I thought he did a good job, but it's like the things he says is just retarded, just so stupid. But I mean, the things like he's a criminal and he's going to sell nuclear secrets to the Saudis and Russia. They're so desperate to take him out politically because the January 6th hearings didn't even move the needle 1 millimeter. Not one, because it was all a partisan just show, just like when the people don't understand how politics work. The people are in power. They then put on, it's like an actor doing an act. Okay. Lawyers, these politicians and lawyers, they're just glorified actors. What do you think attorneys get paid big money to go up there and be actors in front of the judge to try and get their client off? Okay, that's what politicians are. They're glorified actors. So you had the January 6th sham hearings that were just stupid, and like all their main witnesses were already debunked as fake news. It's just ridiculous. And as soon as the Republicans take power, then they're going to put a sham January 6th hearing on to rebuttal because they didn't have it. They're like, well, Republicans like Liz Cheney and Adam Kinzinger. Adam Kinzinger, for 3 years, is the most hated person on the right. One of the top 3 most hated person, along with Mitt Romney and Liz Cheney. These are people that have been hated for years by the right. For years. And Liz Cheney was hated by the left with her father, who was Bush's vice president for years. These are people with all the power in Washington. And Trump called her out and called her names. And so they put her on the January 6th committee, not the other pro-Trump people that wanted a rebuttal. So they're so stupid. You have to know what's going on. Welcome to the Mouthpieces, Mike.
Hey, Mike, this is Dane from Minneapolis, Minnesota. How are you?
Good, man. How you been? How are you?
Good. Good. I just want to say I'm going to switch gears a little bit just because I really liked your poker updates during the World Series. I obviously wish they probably went a little bit better.
Yeah.
But I appreciate, I play for much lower stakes than you, but I mean, I feel the same emotion after I bust the $80 daily on some, BS hand.
It sucks.
And, yeah, it's just tough when you, keep trying and you're getting your money in good and you have guys that can't play.
Yeah.
And they're, beating you.
That's the thing. It's poker tournaments are tough, man. I mean, people, they go on rushes and then they'll win like a bunch of bracelets and they just think it's easy. Then they go 10 years, they don't win them. I mean, they're not easy. Daniel plays 60, 65 events every year. He hasn't won one since 2012. It's 10 years for a guy that plays almost more events than anybody and has more money than anybody. So they're just not easy. I mean, winning is not easy, and it just sucks, you know?
Well, and it's good, and I just appreciate your honesty with how hard it's got to be mentally.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
going through what you have, and then you got to wake up every day being like, am I going to get fucked again today?
Yeah. Well, I'm the opposite. You know, I wake up every day and say, today is my time, you know, and that's what you have to do when you're playing at the World Series. If you wake up, how am I going to get fucked again today? That's negativity. So you're kind of screwed. You got to wake up and say, okay, it's not easy putting whether it's a full day, 2 days behind you and going back and plugging at it again. And so when you think it's going to be your time, I mean, I was positive I was going to make the last 100 minimum of the main event this year, and I was wrong. And I never saw coming what happened. I mean, I drew a terrible table on day 4. I was out of position on the 2 big stacks. I knew I had to make something happen, but I had to be patient, and I felt I was that. And I'm really happy with my bluff. I'm still am. I don't care. The only one not happy with it is Phil. Phil thinks I could fold and still be deep enough to bounce back, but he doesn't understand the table dynamics. If that bluff goes through and he folds, he's sitting on $1 million. I'm sitting on $750, and I get to show the bluff, which puts him absolutely changes the whole dynamics.
That's what I wanted to ask, because I don't know if you ever answered this, and forgive me if you have, but I was going to ask, were you going to show it?
Oh, absolutely.
You got through.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so, like I said, I was 99% sure it was going to work, or I wouldn't have tried it. You know what I'm saying? I mean, there was just people. If you watch closely, if you really watch the entire clip, how I took my time to execute this, and if you hear Jamie Kerstetter, she talks about it. She goes, "Mike's telling a perfect story here. I don't know if he can call." You know, and
right.
I mean, that's what people don't understand what poker is. Poker is when you're going to run a big bluff, you must tell a perfect story, okay? And if the story doesn't make sense, you call. If the story makes 100% sense, you can't call. So it's not about what the pot was laying, how much it never is about, well, the pot's laying me 5-1, I got to call. I don't care what the pot's laying you 20-1. If you tell a story where you're 99%, the guy has it. I mean, it ain't easy to tell a story like that when you're on a bluff. You know what I'm saying? So you have to make sure you tell the perfect story. I felt I told the perfect story, and so did 7 of the 8 people that were sitting at the table with me. Right. The only one that didn't think that I told the perfect story is the guy I was up against. And, you know, it is what it is. When he made that small raise on the river, my first instinct was, okay, fold, right? But then I started thinking, man, I'm like, my fucking table presence and was so tight that, and I know he doesn't have the ace high flush, that like I said, what bluffs do I have in my range? I played for 4 straight days. Now you're going to say that I'm going to put $100K more that he raised plus 220 on top, and then 3-bet all in river and be on a suicide bluff? You see what I'm saying? So
right.
Again, who's going to be doing that, let alone somebody as tight as I am? Sorry, we lost you there.
Well,
yeah, you're there.
Yeah. No, I mean, and certainly, I mean, it seems like you're playing really well, yeah. And I'm thrilled as a fan to see that you're playing, you know, these things at the bike, and WPT. So you just know you've got a lot of people out there.
My no limit game
for
is, again, I don't want to be egotistical, but my no limit game right now, it might be better in 2005. I mean, it really might, and that's hard to fucking say. But again, back then people didn't play well. I've made the adjustment to how the game's played today without running solvers and without being in the lab. And I mean, I have a friend, that recently was playing on the Venom. He was playing in the Venom. I was playing in the Venom on ACR. That 10 million guaranteed, 2 million for first, and he went broke in a hand, and I just told I just like, what are you doing, And he's like, yeah, you're right. He goes, I screwed up. And to me, it's like Poker 101. In my book, it's like the guy just never has a bluff in his range there. And yeah, you're right. So it's like, here's a guy, I don't want to name any names, but he studies. He's one of the better players in the world, and he studies real hard. He studies solvers, all shit. But solvers and lab and all that, just you got to have the it. You know what I'm saying? You just have to have the it. And the it is to just see things outside of the solvers and the lab. Those are great. That'll teach anybody to be a break-even or winning poker player. But if you don't have that it, where that feel it, you just see, boom, you see it right away. Oh, I can make this big fold. He can't be bluffing. You have to see it. And sometimes your big hand blocks you from seeing it. Do you understand? I'll give you a really good analysis. So in the private game I played in last night, and I was already out of the game, but I was kind of watching it. So a hand comes up where it goes raise. They're playing three-handed. The two tens, they're all my friends I play with. They're all nice. But two tens, three bets it to 700. The other guy four bets it to 2,200, and the tens call. And they were like 42,000. One was 42,000 deep. The other guy was like 60-something thousand deep. So now the flop comes 7-7-5 rainbow. The tens check. The four better checks. Okay. Now the turn card comes a 10. The 10 now bets 1,500 into the 4,500, which is perfect sizing. But there's two diamonds on the board too, and the other guy who has ace queen of diamonds calls. Now the river card comes a deuce of diamonds. Now the tens, because I love the tens bet here. The tens bets 10,000 into 7,500. And at this point, this is what I'm talking about, where you have to see it, right? What is the guy four bet with? Because we don't know he's got ace queen of diamonds, right? What does he four bet with? Check the flop and then call the turn with. Probably looks like he has ace king, ace queen of diamonds. So the guy with the tens goes for the over bet, 10,000 river. And the guy with the ace queen of diamonds who hit running diamonds, and he then does something absolute treacherously, raises them to 27,000, and the other guy re-raises all in for another 13 more, and he calls.
Yeah.
I don't care if it's three-handed, okay? When you're that deep and the guy overbets river, he's never calling when you raise the river. What do you think he's calling with? You see what I'm trying to say? So it should have been just a call, and he loses 10K river and 16K in the pot. Instead, he loses like 43,000. You see what I'm trying to say? And this
it's
is
like it's like one of those sayings like what worse is going, like you're not getting called that worse there when you raise.
Correct. What's calling you worse? You can't be bluffing the river when the guy bets 10,000. There's just the guy has no bluffs in his range. So he makes a catastrophic raise, which is horrible. And then how do you call the 12,000 more? There's just, the guy's just full 100 out of 100 times, especially if you're sitting with ace, queen of diamonds. And that is basically, what is that? That's basically the same hand that I played in the main event. That's why I brought this hand up. It's basically the same hand, right? What hand is he raising me the river that I'm 3-betting all in for my tournament life? I can't be bluffing. See?
Right.
So that's why I told the perfect story. And that's why all the top poker players patted me on the back afterwards for doing that, because they hadn't seen me pull that trigger in 17 years. And now they know. Now everybody's afraid of me. Now it's not tight Mike anymore, right? It's
right.
like,
Mouth is back, baby. Let's go.
Is Mike pulling that trigger? Is Mike bluffing me here? You see what I'm saying? And
yeah, I love it.
And that's the difference. And I told the story from the last night game because it's basically the exact same story. See what I'm saying? Except it's a cash game where, like, well, neither one. I just don't got bluffs in my range. It's just, I mean, I did. It's like Sean Deep said. He goes, Mike, you're bluffing there 0 out of 1,000,000 times. And you know what I said to him? I said, yeah, but I'm bluffing 1 out of 1,000,001.
Yeah. And, I mean, you already know. I mean, it was an awesome play. And obviously, you know,
no, I'm good.
When it goes through, it's awesome. But we're looking forward to seeing your game.
I played 5 no-limit tournaments at the World Series this year. I cashed 4 and final tabled 1. I know how good I am in no-limit hold'em. I just forgot how good I was at no-limit hold'em.
Do you think next year you might play more?
Well, I told myself going into the series I was going to play more no-limit because I was playing so good in no-limit hold'em. My game had been so good, and I know how good I've done playing in the cash. And I didn't follow my instincts because I love playing those mixed games. They're just, I'm so good at the mix, so good at the Omaha 8 games and stuff. But yeah, I'm definitely going to play more no limits. You got to remember, the no limit hold'em takes so much out of you. You can't make a mistake. So when you play, let's just say I play 2 days of a limit, whether it's horse, Omaha 8, stud 8, or whatever. I mean, when you're playing limit, you can listen to your fucking music. You could fucking watch. You could watch the baseball. You could watch the NBA finals. You know, you look at your hand, you fold. You look at your hand, you fold. It's limit. You got to play tight. You know what I'm saying? No limit. You got to see who's attacking your blinds. You got to see who's 3-betting you. You got to see how they're doing it. The way they 3-bet you. What did their hand motion do? You have to see all that. And when you do that in no limit, and you do that every day for 6 weeks, I mean, and you're older like me on all the medications that I'm on, it ain't fucking easy. And, we'll talk about my documentary will be out probably the end of September, 1st of October. And that'll show pretty much really what I go through every day. So I appreciate the call. Thank you so much. And have a great weekend.
You as well, Mike. Thank you.
You got it. Bye. So... yeah, well, one thing he's right about is who cares about min cash? I don't care about a min cash. I'm trying to win the fucking tournament. You know, there wasn't one min cash. I never. The only time I ever think about a min cash if I get below like 6 big blinds, and we're close to we're 5 or 10 out of the money.
Your call has been forwarded to an automatic.
I might just play to get in the money. But I'm not playing a min cash. I'm playing to win the fucking tournament. And if that bluff goes through, I'm going to be sitting on. I'm going to be at 750. He's going to be at $1 million. I show the bluff, and the entire dynamic of the whole table changes. So I'm happy with it. I've never once not been happy with it. So I'm gonna stick with it, and I'm just going to say, yeah, I could have gone deep without that risk, but the table was so bad, and I was so card dead. I didn't see me making it through. Anyways, welcome to Mouthpieces, Mike. What up?
Hey, Mike, it's Donnie from Colorado. How you doing?
What's up, my man? How are you?
I'm doing well. I just jumped on probably 10 minutes ago, just listening about your bluff and some explanation behind it. I just wanted to give you a round of applause as well. That bluff was fucking picture perfect, man.
It was the sizing. See,
does that guy? I mean, realistically, first off, very few players. That's why you're professional and elite. They don't have the balls or the thinking level to even pull that off to begin with. Mm-hmm. How often does that guy, your opponent, really think that he's going to win that hand?
Exactly. And again, it's if you watch the entire clip, or if you watch the entire what were we on the TV table for 2.5, 3 hours. If you watch the hands that I've turned over and the hands that we were on the secondary table, so you weren't able to really watch them all. But my image was so tight, you know. And again, I didn't play hand for 2.5 hours. I sized it the exact way I sized when I flopped the set. I sized it the exact way I did when I bet the flop, when I flopped quads. I told a perfect story. I just felt,
but it's not like you let out on the river with a massive overbet or something that he thought you might have been.
Correct.
You know,
I made the same small bet
aspect.
Yeah, I made the same small bet I did when I had the quads, when I flopped the quads. So I thought my sizing. See, that's where I tell people where I've adjusted to the new way poker's play is, well, it's always back in the day before people understood bet sizing in 2005, I just could just raise. But once everything became about telling a perfect story and the sizings, this is where people don't like how Phil Hellmuth plays this, because he plays old school and his sizings are bad and his mechanics are bad, but he does so many other great things. And if Phil would just shut the fuck up and just make these adjustments, he'd be just just dominant again back in No Limit. But it's you've gotta tell a story that's perfect. Your sizings, whether it's a bluff, whether you have a hand and want to get called, you must size everything based. And this is where people, oh, I got to go to the lab, I got to look at the solver, blah. I don't need to do that. I got that up here in my head. You know what I'm saying? Once you play enough, you know what the right sizing is. You know. Again,
it's the whole aspect. I mean, it's the main event. The last 3 hours you've played as solid as I've seen you play in a long time on live, anyways. You had the perfect hand to make that move. Yeah, you knew what he had.
Oh, I knew what he had. I said after I went bluff, oh, I didn't know you had a flush, but I knew he had flush. I mean, I just didn't want him.
Well, yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's just incredible to me that, and then another thing I wanted to touch on, going hand in hand with the World Series, is I watched all your videos and updates and that, and I mean, is it possible to just? I mean, are you going to run like that next year, or do the tides turn? I know you have no crystal ball, but like. That's frustrating as hell as a spectator.
I just don't understand like how the same people just win pot after pot. Like Adam Freeman's won 4 bracelets in 4 years. I mean, he just makes it look. It's just like Brian Hastings now has 6 bracelets. I mean, these are people that. Again, these are good players. These are very good poker players. I'm not knocking them, but they are not me. You know what I'm saying? Like, I should say that sounds egotistical, but I feel like
no, I
know I am much better than them. You know what I'm saying? I'm better. I should say I'm just better. And it just, even Adam, who I have tremendous respect for, and I think is a great, great poker player, said to me, he goes, I don't know, Mike. He goes, you got to win one next year. He goes, I'm a really good player. He goes, but me having more bracelets than you just doesn't seem right. You know what I'm saying? And it's just true.
I agree.
And Adam, again, these are my friends too, and I have a lot of respect for both of them. But I mean, just saying, it's like they make it look so easy. You know what I'm saying? It's like
I know, and I watch these updates, and I can just tell by your demeanor most of the time when you turn the camera back on. I'm like, what the fuck, man? Like, and I know it. I know the same song and dance. It's going to be, your 73%, your 82% going into the river or more, and it's all these different percentages. And I'm like, and I know the game. I've been playing a long time myself, and I'm just like, why? How's this happen? How does this happen every tournament? Is that just the nature of the?
It's one thing. It's one thing is how it happens. It's another thing when you see my documentary come out in a few months is how people will be able to understand what I deal with every day just to get up and get myself in a shower and get myself down there to ride on my scooter to fucking compete against the best in the world. It's just,
I hear you, man.
It's just until you see the documentary, it's just so overlooked.
I see, and I'm like, oh, he's doing good. He's on his scooter. He's got a drink in his hand. He's talking to people. He's good to go today. And we all forget what. Yeah, you're right. You're totally.
They all forget that 4 hours in the day 2 or 3 hours in the day 2. Like all of a sudden I'm in horrific pain and I can't even move. Or we were late on day 3 of, I'm sorry, that was, hold on, what was that one? That was late on, late on day 3 of the main, or on dinner break of the main, and I'm laying on the floor. First, I'm getting a massage trying to get my hip out of pain. Then I'm laying on the floor and she's stretching me and I'm screaming in pain. And then I have to come back and play perfect poker. I mean, it's just, again, I don't make any excuses because I try my best. And if you watch all my videos, you see when I admit when I make a mistake. You know what I'm saying? I always admit when I make a mistake. So, what is that noise?
One more thing, I just want to be able to get this question because I'm curious of what today's landscape looks like. I play online still in some local games and that, but I'm curious, is most of your income, like I know the World Series is important to you, but I mean, is most of your income these days coming from cash or has it always? Or
it's all. I'll just let it in on this, okay? And this is where all the haters can hate, okay? I am pretty much 100% out of debt. I've never invested a quarter into anything until I finally put money into Bitcoin. The second I put it in Bitcoin, it tanked. And my bills are between $65,000 and $10,000 a month, and I've never had any other income than poker. So,
but I mean, you're primarily cash games.
Oh
these
yeah,
days?
I play cash, and mostly I'm very fortunate. I got in a really nice game that I've done well in online since COVID. But before that, it was mostly the 2-4, 3-600 mix. I've been basically since about 2006 when I thought that No Limit Hold'em got so much tougher, playing big mixed game cash. Now I realize, like I said, it took me till the COVID to realize, wow, I forgot that I was like top 5, top 3 fucking No Limit Hold'em player in the world in 05. I'm like, I'm pretty fucking good, And and now you see, people don't understand that Russ Hamilton, he stole all that money from me at Ultimate Bet, and it took away the ability to pull the trigger for years. And now that I'm able to pull that trigger again, and I've got my confidence back, and my ability to read is still unbelievable. I love my No Limit game. Now, am I here? I ask myself, am I capable with the meds that I'm on and what I go through physically to possibly go 8 days, 9 days in the main event and win it? You know what I'm saying? And going into day 4, after I had so much pain late in day 3, and I had only had pain 2 days during the series, was I going to be able to go 4, 5, 6, 7? I called the person who runs the World Series, Jack Effel, and said, can you get me one of the 10K chairs or a dealer's chairs? Because I don't think I can make it sitting in these shitty chairs another 4 days. And they did get me a chair, which was really nice of them. Because, they know that the farther I go, the better it is for, television and for the World Series. So, it sucks, but I have cashed the main event 3 years in a row, and I now am sitting at 8 World Series main event cash, and the record is 9. So hopefully I'll get my 4th year in a row and go deeper.
Nice.
Yeah. So I didn't know that either.
So, I understand your story. Today, like when I started playing back in the early 2000s, everybody was going to different areas around the country playing circuit tournaments and stuff. Is that still? I mean, I know the high rollers will chase big tournaments around the globe. Are people still doing that?
They are. And I'm not the person that I don't have the, just to get, like I said, get out of the house, get dressed, and get myself ready to play is tough enough. I just can't go around the tournament circuits. It's just,
I hear you.
You have to understand, when I fly on an airplane, right? When I fly on an airplane because of my spinal cord injury, the pressurization and the depressurization, it's kind of like, becomes like when it rains. So when it rains, the barometric pressure drops, right? And I'm in terrible pain because the pressure drops, and it whatever it does inflames on where the injury is on my spinal cord, presses against a nerve, shoots some pain down my leg into my foot. Well, that's the same thing when I fly on an airplane. You get pressure, they pressurize the cabin, and what happens when you're landing? You get depressurization, right? And so then when I get off the plane, I'm in terrible pain for 24 to 48 hours, and this is why I don't travel very much. So
yeah, I hear you.
Yeah.
Well, I know I can hear callers
we gotta go.
and all that, man.
Thanks for calling. I appreciate it.
Talking.
You
my
too.
last question is: are you still moving to Texas, or are you staying in Vegas?
I don't know. I talked about it earlier. I'm hoping Texas. I have to wait to see what happens with my cat, and hopefully he lives another year. But I'm not going to leave for Texas until I know what's going on with Flash. You know, I don't think he's going to make it through the weekend. Be honest with you. So, as far as we talk about the Hall of Fame a little bit, you know, they're just gonna keep me out, I guess, forever. I mean, there's so many people that are going to get in probably in front of me that are turning 40. So many great players, but they don't think I did much for the game. I guess I don't know. You know, I just I don't know. You know, you asked me what I think about where I sit in the best poker players of all time. I mean, Doug Polka's clueless. He put people just because they're good at no limit hold'em. All around, I mean, between all the mixed games and tournaments, I think I'm top 25 player of all time. You know, that's my opinion. You could take it where you want to take it. I mean, if I wasn't very good, they wouldn't keep me out of every fucking private game and all the big cash games. You know, if I wasn't very good, they wouldn't sit there and the games never start when I get there. We have to wait for a sucker. I think I'm pretty fucking good. So I got my confidence back. I mean, I don't want to sound fucking egotistical, but I think I'm pretty fucking good. So anyways, I don't know what the fuck is going on.
There's a new feature on here where it's letting us, when somebody else calls in and you're on the line, it's like, do you want to accept this call?
And it's counting down?
No, it's ringing to let us know there's another call coming in, but it's telling me that we either need to end it or put them on hold and answer the other call.
Have you figured out how the feature works yet?
It's the first time I've seen it. So
Okay, so I knew something was going on with the... So what do we want to do? Limit our phone calls to where that phone starts beeping?
I gotta see if I can turn it off.
All right, 702-329-0480. If you want, give us a call. Been on for an hour and a half already. Wow, time flies when you're having fun.
Somebody's on.
Hey, welcome to the Mouthpiece. This is Mike. Hello. Whoops. Yeah. Yeah, Poker Lemon, you don't know what you're talking about, so I'm not going to touch on that. So, yeah, going back to the Eric Seidel hand in the last tournament, me and Eric ends up getting third. Now, he didn't get crippled in the hand. He had like 800 starting the hand. So he still had 590 after the hand. He ends up getting third for $250,000. So that's the difference between one card. Welcome. All right. It won't let you answer it? It what? Hey, welcome to the Mouthpiece. This is Mike.
Mike.
What's up?
Hey, is this the recording or am I talking to Mike?
This is Mike. What's up, bud?
Hey, buddy. Keith Ingersoll calling you out of Boise, Idaho. Big poker fan of yours.
Hey, thank you, man. Thanks for calling. Appreciate it.
Hey, brother. And I appreciate your honesty and your open emotion during the tournament. How's your kitty cat?
He was. I'm going to bring him on here in a second to say goodbye to everybody. But I just had him on a little bit ago, and he was having a tough day today. But now he came wandering in, about 30 minutes ago, and he was meowing, and so is he there? Is he sleeping? Yeah. So he's struggling, but he's almost 21 years old. But it's been tough. You have a cat for 21 years, and you put into perspective how 21 years is like. I had him when I was like 32 and a half years old. I'm 54 years old, or 33 years old, whatever it was. Yeah. So it's he's been my best friend for so long, and it's it's hard, but I tell people all the time, I don't know how I'm going to react. I thought I would have already lost him by now. According to the doctors, but I don't know. Last night he had a bad night. This morning was really bad, and he's had every time he has a couple bad days. I say to myself, if he's like this tomorrow, I'll put him down, and then he just like comes back to life. It's like amazing, and as long as he's eating and drinking and going to the bathroom, the doctor said he's fine. But I have to keep an eye if he starts squawking and meowing like with that loud like. If he starts doing that too much, or if he's not eating or drinking, I'll have to do what I have to do. But right now it's tough on me, and it's so stupid because people don't understand unless like people who watch this show understand that how close I am to the cat and stuff. But I don't leave the house. I go to eat maybe sushi maybe once a week for an hour, and then I just stay home with him 24/7 because I'm just not going to have him much longer. So it's I talked about this earlier. If he passes in the next 10-11 days, I'll be going down to the bicycle club for the WPT and a couple cash games, and if not, I'll just stay home. So that's really what's going on.
Yeah, if you're not on tilt, man, you're an animal lover. I'm an animal lover. Me and my late wife, we raised over 300 guide dogs at our little family boutique for the blind, and so I know that some people don't understand the true bond that you can have with your, is it a pet, a family member? So yeah, I seen you crying there a few times. I was like, guy's got a heart. I've been impressed with your story, brother. You've been honest and your ups and downs, and you're not a phony. You just tell it like it is.
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
You got it,
Hey, I'm writing a book on fame and fortune. I worked at Caesar's Palace for 10 years. I'd like to interview you if you'd be okay with it. Maybe put a page in my book. You can share a little bit about the story.
Do me a favor, leave me an email at our on our. Here, what is it, Danny?
I've got his number, so I'll text him the email address.
Okay, yeah, Danny my assistant will text you the email address.
Okay,
and I will see if we get that together when as long as I'm feeling good. Okay.
Yeah, no, I hear you, brother. But hang in there. You're gonna be all right. Your cat's gonna go to cat heaven. We're all gonna go right someday.
Yep. And listen,
all right.
I got 5 cats, but I'll probably get another one. I don't know. 5's like the magic number for me. They're all so unique. I don't know how to explain. Even my baby boy, man, he's my little monster, the 2-year-old. He's a pain. He's a pain in the ass, but he's unique. They're all unique.
They're all unique.
Yeah. But there's
They're
only
just
one.
like all of us. And I miss seeing you at the World Series. I was down there. I saw you. You were busy, and I was busy. I didn't want to disturb you, and I go, well, I'll have to just cross paths with this guy down the road. Wasn't this trip?
Yeah.
Maybe next trip.
You got it, my man.
All right. Well, your friend sent me that email, or your assistant. I'll send you that, and we'll open up a little more dialogue. And I'm proud of you, though, brother, for being an open and honest soul and not being a phony or, kind of. It's hard to open your soul to the world and just tell it like it is, especially in the dark days.
Yep. All right. Sounds good.
That's courage. All right, man. God bless, brother. Good luck in your next tournament. Hope to see you with the winner's bracelet.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
All right, brother. Over and
it.
out. God bless.
You got it. So somebody just asked in my chat, am I a better poker player than Eric Seidel? Not only am I a better poker player than Eric Seidel, it ain't even close. And if you don't believe me, you can ask him. Now, am I a better no-limit hold'em player than Eric Seidel? That's the question. I'd say no, but I'm right close. I mean, if he's a better, it's this much. But Eric will tell you how. I mean, I help him with his mixed games and stuff. Eric don't play cash games, and he don't play mixed games. I mean, I'm 1,000 times better than him in every other game beside no limit hold'em and maybe PLO. He's probably PLO and no limit hold'em tournament. He's just maybe a smidge better, but all the other games I'm better than him, every one of them, and I'm better than him in all cash games. So if you don't believe me, you can ask him; he'll tell you. So that's not a egotistical comment. That's just fact. No limit. I used to be better. I'm close again. We're close. We're both real close. So different type of. Our styles are almost the same. The only difference is he never says a word, never shows a hand, unless he's on TV and has to show his hand. Me, I like showing when I have a lot of big hands. So then when I bluff people, they just keep remembering when I'm showing them when I have it all the time. That's just my motto. It's the way I like to play. Anyways, so I'm glad we talked a lot about poker on this show. I try to stay away from politics as much as I can. It's absolutely, and I'll say it to anybody out there, anybody that can even 1/10 believe that Trump had secret nuclear documents that he was going to sell to the Saudis or to Russia or any is complete Trump derangement syndrome, and they should literally go check themselves in to a psychologist, psychiatrist, ASAP, because I don't want to sit, because I'm not a big Trump fan as a person. I mean, as a president, compared to Biden, he's a fucking 10 and Biden's a 1, and that's not partisan. That's just fact. I mean, Biden doesn't even know where he's at. I mean, the other day it took him 45 seconds to put his jacket on. The man it's elder abuse. It's nothing against Biden. It's elder abuse. He doesn't know where he's at half the time. He fucking has dementia. He has Alzheimer's probably. Who the fuck knows? He can't put two sentences together. I mean, it's just fact. And again, 19 out of 20 Trump-backed candidates are advancing from the midterms. Trump is getting powerful again. They will stop at nothing to take him out. And he will never see the White House again. They will first they released COVID on the world to take him out. Now they released this fucking raid on the world to take him out. And if these two don't work, they'll probably kill him. I mean, I just know they'll never let him see power again. And I don't know why he just doesn't let Ron DeSantis have the helm, and then the Republicans win 60 seats in the Senate, 100 seats in the House, and DeSantis is able to move the country fucking in the right direction, because DeSantis is Trump without the baggage. That's the bottom line. He's Trump without the baggage. There ain't nothing else to say, you know? Yeah. They don't even know Michael Berry. They don't even know about Michael Flynn getting set up and the entrapment. They don't know nothing. They don't know about Crossfire Hurricane, how the FBI, what they used to get the warrant. They don't know nothing. They don't do any research. They don't know anything. You know what I mean? They just don't know. They just don't know. They're uneducated buffoons. Okay? They watch whatever MSNBC or CNN calls. When I talk about certain things politically on the show here, they don't go look it up and say, wow, Mike's right. I didn't even know that even existed. They still think Trump told people to drink bleach. They still think Trump told neo-Nazis that they were fine people. They still think that Trump told Putin put bounties on American soldiers' heads. There's so many conspiracies that they made up that were proven false. These are things they still think. So I could list 10. You guys that are on the right know what I'm talking about. There's like 10 made up fucking lies that they made up about Trump that have all been proven to be false. That the people on the left still think is true. So I mean, literally every fucking buffoon on the left that I talk to still thinks that Trump told people to ingest bleach and still thinks that Trump called neo-Nazis fine people. All fake news and not true. And on that note, we'll be back next week.
We're going to end it?
Yeah. So I'll let you know. Hopefully Flash is going next week. I don't know how he's going to make it through the weekend. I know he looked good when you saw him, but he's been struggling. We're going to be back next Friday. And then I told you, it's Golf Digest, the golf thing. We'll have some video up on the channel after we film this. And then it'll be the Bicycle Club WPT end of the month. I'll see you next week. We're going to have a special guest next week on the Mouthpiece. I'll see you then. Thanks, you guys. I appreciate you all.
The Mouthpiece.